I have discovered something about us and about this life we live. How many of you know it's a race? Yeah, it's a race. An interesting thing about this race, many of us get in it, and we know that we want to run it. A bunch of people start out running it. As they go struggling through life, they discover that the crowd starts to get thinner. Not as many people there when you started, but the goal is to do what? How many know that's where you want to be? How many made up your mind that the finish line is where you're headed? How many made up your mind that you're going to get there regardless of how many people get there with you? How many people made up your mind, excuse me for a minute, that if the preacher doesn't make it, that you're going to make it? How many have made up your mind? Oh, excuse me, because I'm getting ready to get nosy here in a minute. How many have made up your mind that if your daddy doesn't make it, that I'm gonna make some of you mad here in a minute, because how many have made up your mind if your mama does not make it? And excuse me, spouses, what if your boo doesn't make it? What if your honey doesn't make it? How many made up your mind that you're going to make it? 2 Timothy told us something about fighting this fight. I believe it's the 4th chapter of 2 Timothy, but it's 2 Timothy. And the interesting thing about it is we need to understand where we are. 2 Timothy 4:7 said, I have fought what? Good fight means that I'm in it and I plan on winning. But between there, I'm talking more about what? Beyond what? Beyond the chains. There's a problem that happens to us. We find ourselves with all types of chains all around our lives. And we get ourselves all shackled up with things that we don't even need or shouldn't be involved in our lives. Don't make me start naming the list, because some of mine might be on there. We have a tendency to get all shackled up. All kinds of weights of life. Instead of working with the opportunities before us, we spend all our time trying to figure out how to lock ourselves to things that ain't no good for us, but they feel good. Some of that carrot cake tastes good. But when you check it with that diabetes meter, then some of our relationships we know that rascal's a fool. He was a fool when we met him. The reason we know he's a fool when we met him is because we were acting a fool when we met him acting a fool. So here's two fools out there. He's acting a fool and you acting a fool, and you think he's not a fool. What do you think you... Who said shacking up? I said shackle up. We get these chains. And we lock ourselves to them. Then after a while, these chains start to form the way we think, way we talk, and the way we act. Then after a while, all kinds of weights on our shoulder. Then if you restrict your movement, then you pick up your balance and you start to discover who's the real biggest loser. When you step on the scales, we find our angers there. We step off and think we've gotten rid of anger, think we're doing all right. Look like we're feeling pretty good about ourselves. Step on them again. Oh, doubt gets the best of us. We don't want to be anchored to the cross, so we always looking for. After a while, any old stump will do. We don't know whether it's got any value or not, but it's there. Since it's there, figure I might as well just. You don't feel good about it. Not the best decision you ever made. Sad thing is, you'll look for a lock to lock yourself to. You look for something. You instead of quitting. Well, let me see how. Instead of seeing how well we're doing, we want to see how bad we're doing. See, I'm